Okay, so this next thing I'm going to talk about is conveniently right after the moonside section, and it's the only way to progress is basically as soon as you get out of the bar after defeating the illusion device, the Manny Manny statue, you leave the bar and you see a monkey teleporting or trying to teleport, and basically after a few things you are directed back to this monkey cave place that you found in the desert that you crossed initially to get to Foreside from Threed. And initially you couldn't get in the monkey cave because the guy who I guess owns it or whatever is this person named Talah Rama. Basically, you're not able to enter the cave because he's there in meditation and he's blocking the way, basically, when you first get there. But basically, you're told to go here after after Moonside. And when you get here, it's just kind of like a silly thing where you just have you have a fork at every room, and you have to give one of the monkeys some item that they want, and then they'll let you through. But the important part is eventually you get to the end of the dungeon, or whatever, and you meet this guy, the Talah Rama, who is supposedly meant to be a parody of the supposedly real person, the Dalai Lama. While what he says could be seen as just, he's just, a parody repeating the stuff that this Dalai Lama person might say. But I think it is much, much more profound than just that, obviously. And so after I'm going to show you the clip, I'll talk about it like usual, and I'll see you then. So, right off the bat, the first thing he says to you is, the truth of space and time moves through the universe like a wave. And to me, as I've been in this truth community or whatever, I've kind of found that this universe, or whatever you want to call it, this realm that we live in, obviously isn't as we've been told in some ways by, like science and all that crap. And probably the most likely thing that one could describe most of the realm to be composed of in some way, or how things are communicated, is more in like an energy frequency, as you could say. A frequency a frequency is a wave, basically. Like, a sine wave is, I'm sure the sine wave has so much weird meaning to it that most people probably don't understand all the other waves, forms, and all that. But in this case, moves through the universe like a wave, just as we talk about it with these frequencies and stuff, and how we're energetic beings, or we are beings of light and energy, and, light being, not literally, but how we like to describe that. light being a form of energy or a wave, a frequency. So right off the bat says something extremely profound in that regard, and I say completely correct in that basically everything moves through this realm, space, time, the universe, in a wave, in a frequency, in a way, in an energy form, and some form of energy. Truth speaks through space and matter and makes itself known to human beings. And now, at least, if you're going by the previous sentence, so if truth moves through space and time and the universe like a wave, or like a frequency, like an energy, then what he's saying here is that same wave, frequency, energy speaks through this same medium, or whatever you want to say, and makes itself known to human beings. It's depending on what frequency, I guess you could say, we perceive, or what we listen to, what dial we're on, or whatever, that is what we receive in this truth. Similar to, I guess you could say, how people see through all these types of media, these art mediums, whatever. People seeing truth, and some people can see it, and others cannot. Just like me doing this right now, interpreting this right now, most people probably would have no clue most people would have no clue what I'm talking about or what I'm seeing, and would just be like, I can't see that. I don't see that. But then me, I could see it, at least now, like right away, that I've changed over time, I've changed what frequency I'm dialed to, and I could see this in this way. And I'm sure, depending on what quote unquote dial or frequency someone is tuned to, they might see something completely different. Same thing with music, same thing with looking at a painting, same thing with anything. Just, hearing the birds outside or whatever, just hearing something. Everything speaks through this medium, this wave, this energy, this frequency. This speaks through it, and it speaks all the truth that this place has to communicate, provide in this form. And then he says that he was waiting for him, and he came, as was destined. And then he says, in truth, all is predetermined. And as I alluded to in another video, or as I talked about in another video, is that I have personally become much more open to this potentially fact, or maybe just fact to me. I don't know, this realization that we may not really have free will like we like to believe we do, but most of the events that happen to us, or most of the things that happen regarding us, or whatever that we perceive, anything that really happens, at the end of the day, it could very likely have been destined, or whatever you want to say, destined, fated, predetermined in some way, that deterministic. And like I was saying, I think I'm more inclined to start believing this kind of idea, because it really, I don't know, to me, at least from what I've just kind of been perceiving and milling over in myself, as I'm like, I don't know, while I think that maybe certain things that we do, like, maybe it's kind of like a middle ground, like maybe the little things that we do, like our daily routines and stuff like that, maybe that could be considered a form of free will in a way, or it's just kind of like the middle ground. But then the big events, or the bigger things that happen to us in our lives and just our existence in general, is potentially has been maybe not so much planned, but it was just always meant to be, was always going to happen in the end. Like, I don't know. It's just what this character is saying, the Talah Rama, is not just in the games, because in the game, it is predetermined, because if you go through the game, unless you shut the game off, everything is predetermined. Like, you could say that he's talking in sense of the game, but we can also say that our own existence here, our own physical life here is almost a game, like a simulation and all that. So I could say that that's just as valid to say that just because in a game these kind of events are predetermined, well, if we look at ourselves and we look at our own realm, we actually believe it's similar in that way, so it's most likely the same. It's most likely the same deal, that it is predetermined in some way. So, yeah, that's just how I see it now, personally. Now, this line is a little bit perplexing to me. Maybe it's just kind of like a little bit of word, just a little bit of pretty words, I guess. But it says, after these four powers gather, that being Ness, Paula, Jeff, and Pooh, the four destined heroes of this story, twisted space will bring back peace to the world. Well, peace to the world, but twisted space will bring back peace to the world. I don't know. Maybe that's saying, because later on, there is something that would suggest that they kind of, quote-unquote, twist space and time by traveling back in time and forward, respectively, and all that stuff, traveling through time. Not that I really think time means much. I think it's a construct and all that stuff, but obviously there's some kind of thing there, like going through it. There's something there, but maybe that's what he means. Twisted space will bring back peace to the world, is that going through that twisted space, or causing that space to be twisted together by traveling through it or whatever, will bring back peace to the world. I don't know. Somebody might get something different from that. Do you understand? It doesn't matter. Proceed as you wish. And, I guess that kind of says like a few things. I would say is, one, it doesn't really matter if you understand in the end, if you think of the predeterministic thing where it's like, even if you understand or not, at the end you'll still get there, and in the end, understand it or not. Just like we will likely never, in this avatar, in this physical realm, we will never truly understand everything, anything, or most things here. But in the end, that doesn't matter. I think that says a lot, personally. Like, one might, people like to say that it matters about understanding and everything, but maybe it doesn't really. Like, it's just, if it's predetermined in some way, potentially the end result, it will still be the same. I can totally see that. As well as, it doesn't matter if I could just kind of look at it like, it doesn't matter if you understand really what your quote-unquote destiny is here or whatever, but it'll still kind of work out in the end if destiny wants it to, or destiny was determined to make that the case. But that's not to say that you don't have some kind of impact in that degree. Like, I just kind of see that maybe I'm twisting it to my own view, trying to make it work, but I don't know. It's like, I just kind of look at it with us in this truth pursuit. Like, I really don't think it matters chasing the rabbit holes and all that stuff, trying to understand it, because I believe we really won't ever understand it. Like, you're probably never meant to understand it, and it doesn't matter in the end if you do or not. What really matters is that you know deep down who you are, what you are, or at least who you are, and using that to live your life, better yourself, your true self, and all that. That's how I see this, at least. And then, funny enough, as he was talking about destiny and predetermined and everything, he gives you the next item, just as it always happens, that you need to progress in the game, so you can go and find Paula, this yogurt dispenser, a very, a very specific item. And then, afterward, he teaches you, well, at least he has one of his monkeys teach you how to use teleportation. Extremely useful skill, even this late in the game kind of thing. Let you teleport to any location that you've been to already, basically. Also kind of lending some credence to that idea that, space and time is very fluid, being able to instantly teleport kind of thing. It's just a little bit of reading into there, but still interesting that he has he teaches you through his monkeys that he probably taught teleportation in that way. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that one because it's pretty crazy how many things were surprisingly in this fairly short block of time within the game. At least I think extremely profound things that you kind of find in such quick succession. Like, for me at least, Everdread's haiku, very profound. The whole idea of Moonside and what it is and all that. And then the Talah Rama, his little, paragraph there, not even. Extremely interesting, profound, spiritual, metaphysical truth, I would say. And I hope that you could see what I was trying to say and make your own interpretations as well. And as always, thanks for watching.